Hi guys, obviously we're not back at school yet, but you've got a bit of a package that you can be working on while you're away from school. Within that, I'm going to be in charge of doing some of the numeracy, bit of your math, so you've got some options. So firstly, you can be doing some of the booklet work that I've set. There's some really cool online stuff that you do sometimes when you're at school, like cool math games and also a new program, iExcel, and that quiz. So plenty of different things that you can do with your math. This one though, each week I'll be doing a bit of an activity that you can do maybe outside or even inside if it's a bit of a rainy day. So today's one and this week is going to be based on measurement. Got my nice pink ruler. And so occasionally during this video, I'll just ask you to maybe pause and go and get some stuff. So what you'll need for this activity is ideally a ruler. If you don't have a ruler, this is a 30 centimetre ruler, you might have one in your package that's been given to you, or you can just use a bit of A4 paper because pretty much it's about the size of an A3, about the same size as a 30 centimetre ruler. Just below it, it'll be close enough for this. So if you haven't got one of these, grab a bit of paper, and if you really wanted to, you can sort of fold it up and turns into a bit of a ruler for yourself. You also need maybe a phone. I'm assuming you've all got a phone, which has got a calculator and maybe a stopwatch will be good for this. All right, so the first thing you've got to do is to measure things out with this is all right if you're measuring just small spaces. We're going to measure some bigger spaces today. So what we're going to try and do is turn this, or try and work out how we can make a metre long thing. So what I want you to do is go and find something that could be about a metre long. It might be a stick in the yard, it might be a big piece of wood, I don't know, be a bit creative. Go off and find something that could be about a metre, it doesn't have to be perfect, but maybe just over a metre long. Go for it. All right, so hopefully you've gone out and found yourself a stick, or at least you've you've got to consider doing that after you've seen this. So we've got our 30 centimetres. I want to make a metre. So what we need is 3 of these plus an extra 10 centimetres. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put just anything down on the ground and then try and work out how we can do it. You might want to come closer, Lottie, if you need to. That's 1, 2, 3, and 10 more centimetres, which is here. If you haven't got a ruler and you've only got paper, you can also make that a third by folding it into each other equally, like that. And that would also turn it into a third of it. So you would have been able to use that too if you wanted. All right, so we've got our metre. We've gone and got a few things from the yard where they found this one, which is a stick, which is about a metre long. So let's have a look. Oh, it's almost perfect. It's just missing a tiny bit at the end. So what we can do is pretty much just snap this off. Yeah. Oops. So we've now got a metre stick which we can use. You might have also found some string or some wire or something like that you might have found. And again, you can just measure it out to the distance and maybe get some scissors and cut that off. Or you might have even found some actual wood in the garage or somewhere like that. You can maybe ask your mum or dad, or if you're good enough, you can do it yourself. Grab a saw and chop it off at the area that makes the metre. So there's some options for you. Right, so now what we're going to do with our stick is we're going to go outside, whoops, we're going to go outside and we're going to measure certain areas, predict how long certain areas are, and then use our stick to measure them. All right, let's go. So we're outside and the first challenge is I'm going to ask my daughters to see how long it is to get to the end of the veranda, and then we're going to measure it. So they're going to make a bit of a prediction. So in your booklets, at the very back, one of the back pages, there'll be a measurement task. Not sure what I'm going to call it. You'll be asked to maybe make a prediction on this, but also fill in all of the details on it. All right? All right, so Willow, how far do you think it is down that veranda from here?
5 metres and a half.
5.5. What do you think, Lottie?
I think 5 metres.
5 metres. All right, come over here, Willow, and you can start the measure. So you can make your own prediction at home. It's a bit hard to do it all.
There.
Yep. And now all the way up. We'll hopefully put this in fast forward.
1.
That's 2.
Yeah,
So this is go. 3.
4. 5. 6.
Not looking good for your 5 metres. Keep going.
7. 8. 9. 10. 11. I'm thinking 12 metres and a half.
All right. So now we're at this point.
And about a half.
About 12.5. Alrighty, Willow. This one we're going to do from this little thing, this thing here to that wall, which is a little bit hard to see for everyone else. But how far do you think that'd be?
7.
7? Oh, we got a cat. Lottie, what do you think?
I think 7.
Both think 7. All right, let's measure it up. Go for it, Willow. Yep. Nice and straight. You probably go along that line. Yep.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Whoa, close. About 8.5. Alright, so we've just done 2 of them. So I'm going to talk about a task you can do in your booklets at the end. This time, we're going to do something different. We're going to measure 20 metres because we're going to do a bit of a race just to see who's fastest over 20 metres and then see if we can find out how fast we're going in kilometres per hour. We're going to measure this differently though. So we're going to work out 2 metre lots. So 1 metre here, so you've drawn a line. So you can do it in chalk or you can just do it in bark on the ground. And here, so what I'm going to get you to do is step out. See, so we're going to use our steps this time to actually work out how far a distance is. So we do 2 so we can get used to it. Alright, so put your foot basically on the end of the line there. So your foot's on the back. And then 1, 2. So what I'm going to be able to do now is keep on measuring out about 20 metres. The cat's attacking Lottie. By doing these types of steps the whole way. So Willow will follow me on the camera. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. It's about to the gate. Okay, thanks. Maybe see if you have a go at doing that. So you got your lines? Great, go for it. 3, 4, 5, 6. 19. All right. So now that we've measured out our distance, Willow's going to go for a run and see how fast she can go in 20 seconds. All right. In 3, 2, 1, go.
Go.
And stop.
5 seconds.
5 seconds. 5.02. All right, Lottie, do you want to have a go? All right, Lottie, your turn now. Ready? In 3, 2, 1, go! She's in her thongs. Might be a bit fast. All right, 5.55. So what we're going to do now is work out how fast in kilometres an hour you went. Alright, so the girls have just finished doing their runs and we're going to do a bit of a measurement on how to get that to kilometres per hour. Hopefully you've done the same at home, but we'll do this anyway. Alright, so what they did, they ran 20 metres in, it was about 5 seconds between both of them. So we'll just do 5. So what we need to do to make this into kilometres per hour, I'm not going to get into all the big technicalities. You might be able to do that by looking on the computer if you want to. But we need to just divide it. because that's what it is, a divided by line. So 20 divided by 5 is 4. So they ran 4 metres every 1 second. Now, in order to get this into kilometres per hour, there's a really big calculation, which I'm not going to go through now, but really you just times it by 3.6. So 4 times 3.6 equals 12. I might just do it on here. 4 times 3.6. It's actually, without 14, because the other calculation was a bit wrong, 14.4 kilometres per hour. So that's how fast the girls are running. Let's think about Usain Bolt, the fastest man, or the fastest men. They did 100 metres in how long?
9.
So about 9 seconds. So that equals about 11.1 metres every single second. So when we do the same calculation and we do 3.6, that would equal, might just use a calculator, 11.1 times 3.6, about 40 kilometres per hour they are running, which is huge. So in a minute, I'm just going to, we're going to stop the video, have a bit of a pause. I'm going to give you a bit of a list of the things that I want you to do based on the exercises that I've shown today. Great. All right, so this is what I'm hoping you're going to be able to do today. Obviously, you've seen a few things of how to do them, but what it is, got our stick, which got a bit broken, so we've got some tape. One, make a ruler. So remember you had either a piece of paper or a ruler to try and make a 1 metre ruler. 2, I want you to find 2 things that you can measure. So what we did was we did our veranda here, and we also did the area near our basketball ring. So you find 2 areas in your house or around outside that you can do. I want you, I'm going to leave a little bit of a space here on your worksheet for you to make a prediction, because that's part of our curriculum too, that we need to be able to predict things. So I want you to be able to predict how far it is, and then use your stick to try and measure how far that distance is. And there'll be a bit of a spot to see how close you get. Then I want you to try and step out maybe 20 metres. If you haven't got enough room, you can maybe make it 10 metres. So again, you've got your stick to work out how far 2 metres are. So remember, it was to try and make 2 metres, 2 gaps. So when you're trying to step it out, here's my good drawing, you can then work out how far you need to continue to make your steps to make it 20. I want you to try and time yourself over that 20 metres. So hopefully you got maybe sister or brother or mum or dad or someone like that to time you in your run, but you can do it yourself if you need to. Then, it gets a bit harder, come in and try and calculate how fast you are in kilometres per hour. Remember, Usain Bolt was about 40 kilometres per hour. Let's see if you're able to beat these guys, my daughters, who are about 14.5 kilometres per hour.
It was 14.
Yeah, it's about. So remember the calculation, metres per second. You just divide those 2 numbers, which got you to here, then you times that by 3.6. If you want to learn a little bit more on how to convert the measurements, then jump on the internet and have a bit of a look. That's it for all these activities. After this is all finished, and hopefully you've done all this, I'm going to do another bonus little one that you can do if you want to. It's going to be about inside measurements of rooms and how we can work out some areas and volumes and things like that. So stay tuned for that one.